Welcome to Finding Monster Right. The show about finding monsters right. Yep. I'm Adam. I'm Ali. What was that? That worked out better than I expected.
Yeah.
I don't think a second take would help.
No, absolutely not. That song comes from an era of Christmas songs where, like, some dude who ate only cigarettes and asbestos just, like, tied one on and just, like, slobbered into a microphone.
Yeah. Frosty the Snowman.
Here's my proof for this. Try to sing it like it's a regular song. Frosty the snowman was a jolly happy soul.
Yeah, I think the
verse is like, now pretend to be drunk.
Frosty the snowman
was a jolly... Yeah, right?
I agree. That texture's really on there.
This is a great start.
Yeah, so this is Finding Monster Right. We already said our names. You all know that information.
Yeah.
It's time for another Christmas classic. We're here. It's snowing, and we're
get used to it.
Yeah. What did you expect?
Yeah.
So this episode is called "Do You Want to Build a Golem?"
Frosty, or the modern Snowmetheus.
Yeah. We are talking about everyone's favorite snowman, Frosty the Snowman. Yeah. You have better ones out there?
I don't know. Maybe. I haven't thought about it.
Well, he's a top. I want to say a top. Wow.
Top tier.
Top tier. Yeah, he's top tier on my list.
I want to make a Christmas pun out of that. I think that might be where you were getting stuck up.
Yeah. I'm just I stacked up all the snowmen, all my favorite snowmen, to smaller balls of snow, and he was the hat I put on top of it.
Let's name all the snowmen: the talking snowmen, the snow golems.
Yeah,
you got
Earl from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh, yeah, the guy who comes out like, haven't you seen the talking snowman before? Here's a story about Rudolph.
Yeah, there's the rip-off of him from Elf.
That's another one.
You know Dasher and Dancer and Dancer and Vixen. But yeah, no, we're going to talk about him through the lens of golems.
Yeah, Olaf.
Olaf, yeah.
The ones from Calvin and Hobbes.
Snowball.
Mm-hmm.
Olaf's younger sibling.
Oh, yeah.
Technically.
All the snowgies that are spontaneously generated every time Elsa sneezes, which is like, I don't know.
Snowgie sounds like a very bad slur in the Frozen universe.
She creates life just accidentally, like an elder god. Like, I need to make an Elsa D&D character. That's my Christmas resolution.
Well, speaking of elder gods and the old magic, let's talk about Frosty the Snowman.
Yes.
Popularized by the original song from years prior, Frosty the Snowman, the TV special of good old 1969, has been a CBS staple for many years.
Nice. Because I was just at Staples today.
So.
Oh, and also 69 is the funny number.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
You recall the tale, Frosty?
I do, but I think it might help if I drank excessively and sang it. Gulp, 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 yum, yum, yum. It's like the opposite of Popeye. Like, my arms get weaker. Does that happen?
Yeah, no, I think so.
Does alcohol make you less strong? That seems right.
Yeah, you become less coordinated.
Yeah.
You get, sea legs on land. Unlike Popeye.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was a jolly, happy soul with the corncob pipe, because they don't understand that smoking's bad for you yet.
No, button nose. Eyes made out of coals.
Terrifying.
Yeah. I'm glad they're not burning coals.
He's a coal-eyed demon who came to life and told the children about death.
Well, it's very tough because he has the big, cartoon eyes in the animation. I think it'd be horrifying if he had just the two little dots.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he with his shark eyes.
Also, what a waste of coal.
Yeah, I would say so. Coal was precious back then.
Sure, coal's precious now. More precious is how that works.
Actually, that is true.
Also, button nose is like a kind of nose that people have.
Oh.
But I think in his case, it's an actual button. So in the song, do we think he has just a button for a nose? Or is it
I think
like...
it's an actual button, because they're putting all kinds of crap on him, like scarves and a hat. And
come and think of it, it wouldn't make sense to like spend time sculpting a button nose specifically out of the snow. Like, I gotta get this right. This is the only way I can finish the snowman.
In the animated version, there's school children who and a professor, a magician named Professor Hinkle.
He's a magician and a professor. Does he teach at don't?
Oh yeah.
Don't.
Yes.
Does he teach at the school from Ursula K. Le Guin?
Yeah, he teaches at that school.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, no, he has a rabbit named Hocus Pocus, and his hat is apparently magical, because when the kids find it, they put it on Frosty, and he comes to life, saying his favorite catchphrase, you dirty motherfucker. Saying his famous catchphrase, hasta la vista, baby.
Saying his famous catchphrase, stay cool.
Yeah. The happy birthday.
He says happy birthday because the children gave birth to him.
If he said happy holidays, like, that wouldn't be a debate anymore. Like, no one would like have this war on Christmas thing.
No, if they'd find a way.
Well, we did encounter someone a couple days ago.
Oh my.
I was visiting Allie in Philly, and around the fashion district, there was a very loud man.
Yeah, right in front of the convention center where, like, some people... I think these are, like, kind of, like, the Kanye West breed of, like, black Israelites, they're called. Where, like, they've got, like, the Star of David on the side. But the idea is that... they're just, like, not a great religious group, gang, and they believe some weird stuff about Jewish people, but they were also fighting the war on Christmas on the against Christmas side, which nobody does.
Yeah.
So I was like, I walked in to meet Adam at the train station, right by the convention center. I went and I saw Adam, and I was like, yeah, there's some people outside the convention center we should probably stay away from that are, like, talking about how Catholics are bad and also abortion's bad, so it's like, who is this for?
Yeah, pick a lane.
Yeah, and then, like, we accidentally walk out, like, right past them, and I was like, oh, shoot, these are the guys I was telling you about. And then, like, the first thing we hear is this guy just shouting into a microphone, God hates it when you deck the halls, black man.
Which is so... Like, because like, even the people who are, like, pro-Christmas and the war on Christmas, they still love decorate and put lights up in nativity scenes, and it's like, God hates it when you deck the halls.
God hates it when you deck the halls, black man. That's not...
It's a take that I've never heard before, and I don't think they would support if you encountered them a second time.
No, I think they would... Well, they were also talking when I was going in there about how, like, the Pope made Christmas on December 25th, and that's something that God hates, and, you know... They talk to God and the Pope doesn't?
Yeah, they know, the God knows the calendar to them.
The calendar was made by a Pope.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go to bat for the Catholic Church.
No, but
I'm also
tough in that situation.
Yeah. Nobody's a winner here, but whatever, man.
Yeah, but...
Deck the halls, everybody.
He shouts happy birthday. The kids
Jesus
dance
Christ. That's getting cut.
The kids dance and sing with him. And he leads them down the streets of town, right to the traffic, like what we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, the policeman hollers stop at him. And good on Frosty, fuck the police. Like,
All cops are birthdays.
Yeah, but the temperatures are rising. Frosty's gotta get somewhere cold.
It's getting hot, so hot, and I'm burning up. Pyromania. I'm not really in a Christmas mood yet.
Oh, well.
I'm just singing
Pyromania.
2000s Euro techno, whatever the fuck.
Anyway, the magic of Frosty is that he can't melt. He does melt in the story. It's sad, but Santa uses Christmas magic to pull him back together again.
A cold December wind.
Cold December wind. That's all you need.
Yeah.
And he slapped the hat on. He says, "Happy birthday again." All is well. He goes up to live in the North Pole.
Yeah.
So, what have we learned about Snow Golem from this tale?
Just like the Blob.
Yeah, that's what He does follow the same trajectory, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Voiced by John Goodman at one point.
I guess. I don't...
That's not true.
I don't think the Blob has a voice. I haven't seen... We should.
We should blob it sometime.
We should blob it for sure.
Yeah.
But so good for puns. Anyway, yeah. We learned about snow golems that they are animated by a hat.
A piece of magic.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes a book. A manual of golems in D&D.
In D&D, there's a manual of golems.
Yes, which in order to...
Should we describe what a golem is?
Yeah, let's do that before we get too far. Let's talk the most famous golem of all, the Golem of Prague.
Yeah. So, golem stories go back thousands of years in the Jewish...
Tradition!
That's very appropriate, yeah. Oh, we're talking about a Jewish monster on Christmas, aren't we?
Well, Hanukkah's around this time of year,
Give
too.
them something to listen to.
Yeah.
We're not doing anything else.
Yeah.
Hanukkah 2. We haven't done a Hanukkah. This is a Hanukkah. This is a Happy Holidays episode, truly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
But go ahead.
Oatmeal. It's not. It's a pretty good name for a cat, though. Anyway, the Golem of Prague was a specific thing that cropped up in the early 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
That was thought to be much older, but essentially, it's an example of a golem that is awoken to serve as a protector, to protect the Jewish people from persecution, or to protect a community of Jewish people from persecution when that happens, because it happens a lot.
Oh, yeah. And crafted from clay
Mm-hmm.
is traditionally what the Golem of Prague was made from.
That's an important thing.
Yes.
If we go back biblically, because Adam is made from red earth in the Torah, and I believe he is himself made from clay in the Quran.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where the first people are made of.
Yeah, it's that from dust you are made, from dust you will return.
Yeah. Well, that's a common thing in the Abrahamic faiths. Mm-hmm. So, hence the golem needs to be made out of clay in order to receive the breath of life, such as it is.
Yes.
And then it's animated with, there's multiple different ways a golem can be animated. One thing is a shem, like a small scroll with a true name of God written on it.
Okay.
And that is inserted in the golem's forehead or mouth, and you can take it out and deactivate the golem, put it back in to reactivate it. There's also, sometimes the golem has a piece of paper, or it's just carved directly on the forehead.
The symbol, yeah.
It says emet, which means truth in Hebrew. And if you take off the last letter, which is really the first letter, it just says met, which means death. So that's how you deactivate it.
Oh, okay. So you strip him of a letter.
Yeah.
I hope that whoever he's...
pun monster.
I hope whoever he's defending against doesn't know that. That's just one real easy... Just hit him with like a dirt ball.
Oh, yeah.
And you're in trouble.
Jeez.
Well,
that would work.
I think that I see why they did not use that method for activating Frosty. Because...
He's made out of snow.
Yeah, it's very hard to carve into snow.
Now,
and
does that kind of fly in the face of, it needs to be made out of earth because Adam was made out of earth?
It is a different element that is crafted from. Snow, it's still packed in there.
There's coal.
Yeah.
Oh.
Coal's involved. But it's also true that golems can be made of all kinds of materials in D&D lore.
Yes.
Yeah, jumping gears here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that the Manual of Golem is a magic item and straight out of the Dungeon Master's Guide.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tome that is the incantations that I believe a cleric, or anyone with it, can use to conjure up and create a golem of their own.
Yeah.
The book describes 4 different ones, and if you get Tome of Beasts and stuff like that, there's all different ones in there too.
Right.
Clay, flesh, iron, and stone is what you need, and those are the materials that you gather in order to create them.
It looks like the most expensive and hardest to make golem is an iron golem.
Right.
To create a golem, you'll spend the time shown on the table working without interruption with the manual at hand and resting no more than 8 hours per day. Just 16 hours of work for 120 days just to build a robot.
Yeah, which is really... It's tough because...
and 100,000 gold pieces.
Yeah. It's funny because in D&D, it's like this is an active table game.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be like, all right, guys, my character's away for the next 120 days. What's that, like 4 campaigns?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, he's out of here to build a golem.
I think you gotta outsource that. Which sucks, because then you gotta pay whoever's making it on top of 100,000 gold pieces.
It just makes it just insanely expensive.
Yeah.
That's one of those that you show up to a one-shot with one already made.
Yeah.
Like, I expended all this stuff in time and my character's history to have this unbeatable monster by me. Now,
there is a final step to put all of the various pieces of golemry together.
Mm-hmm.
A creature that can't use a manual of golems and attempts to read it takes 66 psychic damage.
Ooh. Yeah, I guess so. That's bad.
Oh, wait, so what kind of creature can?
It has to be intelligent.
You must be a spellcaster with at least 2 5th-level spell slots.
Yes.
So if you're not very good at magic, you will just open this and die.
That's tier 3. You have to be 11th level in order to, like, so I guess that makes sense. At that point, you might as well have a golem.
You're making a robot, buddy, yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, 66 psychic damage from reading a textbook is, like... I feel like if I picked up one of your engineer textbooks, I feel like if you still have any of those lying around from college, I think I might, that might happen.
Got some of my studies not too far from here, but yeah, no, let's not take it. We need to record here.
Yeah.
So once you finish creating the golem, the book is consumed in eldritch flames. The book becomes animated when the ashes are sprinkled across it. So you don't, like, cheese it and keep making golems with the same book.
I guess, but also, like, there's some, like... It's like when you have to... You know how video games used to be, like, you could just, like, borrow a video game from a friend, and now, like, you have to register them, so you can't do that anymore?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Okay, it's like a subscription model.
Yeah. You get a loot box full of golem bits.
Yeah, so once it's under your control and it understands and obeys your spoken commands. So I wonder...
Dance.
Yeah, well, the kids are the ones whose commands he seems to listen to, not the police officer, so that adds up.
Yeah.
Yeah. He also... I do wonder how in the modern day of 1969, when this was made... I wonder if Frosty would be responsible for any crimes that he committed. Or is he just the weapon, the gun in this situation?
Does he exist under the law?
Well, it's funny, if he's being tried and you take off the hat, then it's like the perfect defense. Like, he's not...
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time the hat goes on him, it's like he's born again.
He says happy birthday.
Yeah, which is a weird...
He can just Jon Snow it. Just like...
Yeah, every now and then he goes to jail, takes off the hat, puts it on. It's like, this is wrongful imprisonment.
Just, like, assassinate a senator. Just, like, take off the hat and... Like, not even, just, like, push the hat off your head and then, like, wait for your arms to melt and then it falls back on.
Just make a cycle out of it.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea. Yeah, so...
It's not a good idea to kill a senator.
No. You're right. It's a good idea to set yourself up
for legal purposes.
No, so the magic is in the hat.
Mm-hmm.
I think we understand that.
Maybe in the inside of the hat is a true name of God. That's this weird Templeton voice guy wrote.
Yeah, he's a real...
he's a master of Kabbalah.
Professor Hinkle.
Professor Hinkle.
Yeah. I also want to say...
Name?
Perhaps.
Well, anyone can be Jewish, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. I do want to talk a little bit about the narrator. Briefly, because something magical is going on with him.
Oh, yeah?
He's played by Jimmy Durant. Like, in his last moments of being.
How old was he when he recorded that?
So he was born in 1893.
Damn.
So 7 plus 69 puts you at, 76?
Jeez.
Yeah, and he died 1 year later.
He died in 1980.
Yep.
That's,
I'm sorry.
11
years later.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was his last role, though. And for what it's worth...
86 is old.
Jewish.
Hey.
Yes.
We can't just be like... And this guy was Jewish. And this guy was Jewish, too. Where are the other Jews? Like, this is a bad road we're walking down.
I agree. Let's walk it back. The Frosty Snowman, classic tale. Not many know the sequel... Frosty's Winter Wonderland.
Dance. Winter Wonderland. Oh, God. Woof. Woof. Baboof. Me. And my shitty dude voice. Hey. In this climate, in this economy.
Well, I do want to say that I don't think I've ever seen like the sequel, and I don't think it airs like ever.
I don't
like a lot of the Rankin Bass stuff. Frosty Returns was a 92 like kind of, I don't know, spin-off sequel that they made, and that's the one that, as far as like as long as I've been alive, always aired like right after Frosty.
Now, is the animation in that not absolute shit?
It's definitely you see like the 28 some years later.
It's not even that, like, there's contemporary, like, 1969 cartoons that look fine, and then Frosty the Snowman is just, like...
It walks in, like, 2 frames.
It's
like...
so bad. Like, for some reason, we all decided to keep watching it, even though it was the worst animated thing I think I've ever seen, even for its era.
Especially a lot of seasonal content kind of gets that just because of cable and the way it was back in the day. That's why people still watch It's a Wonderful Life and The Christmas Story. Because they were cheap and like no one really wanted them. So cable got them for like on the low.
Well, yeah.
And then they just were like, oh, we can play this all the time seasonally. And people got hypnotized into thinking like, man, that mean little Christmas story. That's my nostalgia.
My nostalgia is the child who wants a gun and the man who wants to die. Oh, boy, they can really solve each other's problems, huh?
I didn't realize that A Christmas Story is the answer. The good old everyone's favorite man.
Two stories operating in perfect harmony. Harmonic convergence is upon us. Yin and yang.
Yeah, I'm glad Jimmy Stewart has made a return for this special occasion. Do you think...
Thought you could kill me, bitch. Well, I came back as a flesh golem.
There must have been some magic in that old Silk Hat he wore, because I left it there. I put magic wherever I find it.
God, he's so scary. Jimmy Stewart is a very scary man.
Yeah.
Our impression of Jimmy Stewart is a very scary man. I'm sure in real life he was probably fine, except for that one time when he fought in World War II and took away Hitler's bending.
Yeah, no. You can hear back to our the time that Jimmy Stewart the Abominable Snowman.
Oh no, that's the Giant Rabbit episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was just listening back to that.
You could roll back to our past Jimmys.
So Jimmy's of yore.
Jimmy's of yesteryear. Frosty's Winter Wonderland. It explores the greater Frosty canon, and I haven't seen this. The animation may be even worse. 7 years later.
Looking at this, just like look at cover for the VHS release on Wikipedia. Yeah.
Look, you can't even read like the featuring the song Frosty the Snowman. It's like flattened out, and every kid's a different animation style. Their mouths are covered, so they don't have to be animated.
If this were made in the modern day, like half of them would look like Steven Universe.
Yeah. So in this one, the antagonist of the picture is Jack Frost, and Frosty pulls a Saint Francis and constructs for himself a snow wife.
Did Saint Francis fuck Snow?
I think canonically, like it's an old story, but Saint Francis once built a wife out of snow.
Yo, I'm not God. Except
I think it was before then. Let's wait real quick.
I'm not God or nothing, but I feel like that violates the vow of chastity. I feel like if you fuck Snow, it doesn't matter that it wasn't a person. It's still bad.
Francis finds himself having a temptation against chastity. So he goes out into the snow and makes himself a snow wife. Seeing that he has a wife, Francis says, well, Francis, now that you have a wife, you will certainly have some children. So he makes 2 snow sons and 2 snow daughters. In this old legend.
And then what happens?
One moment.
Like, some of the other monks just, like, find him just, like, blackout drunk having an argument with the snow wife.
So now that he has a whole household, St. Francis completes his new family by making 2 snow servants. Yeah, of course.
Fuck off! Vow of poverty my ass. Like, oh, we need a butler, otherwise the house simply isn't complete. Wouldn't you say, Snowlissa? Like...
Then Francis becomes alarmed when he has 7 people to care for. He's like, oh shit, I didn't sign up for this.
Oh, I gotta take care of my servants. They're grown men that take care of you, you bitch. Bougie-ass motherfucker.
Can't you see your family is freezing to death, he says to himself. You'd better get to work on as to buy them some proper clothes.
Okay, so what was he doing?
I thought it was just like I thought it was just having like a...
I thought he just fucked Snow.
Yeah, no.
This is worse somehow.
It's like role-playing. Like, he's role-playing to, like, get off.
He's got by giving himself all this anxiety, Francis cures himself of his temptations.
Yeah, he basically distracted himself.
What temptation?
Well, chastity was how it started with.
Just fuck Snow.
Instead,
I've done a 180 on this. I think it's more normal if you just fuck Snow.
Yes, so that's a fun retelling.
I suppose, yeah.
That's not why Frosty returns to visit the children, and they go to like school, and he's left outside in the cold, and he's like, "Man, I'm lonely." And so he tells the kids, and they're like, "Well, you need a wife." So they craft for him a snow wife.
How do they bring her to life?
They do not have a hat, but what they do have is so yeah. First of all, his name for her is Crystal.
It's fun, like a snowflake.
Yeah. They can't find a way to bring her to life. So Frosty presents her with a bouquet of flowers.
Oh.
A beautiful bouquet of, what are they called?
Inscribed with the true name of God!
Frost flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And his gift of love brings her to life. Which makes me think a little bit about that hat. That's part of the component, right?
Yes, but it also makes me think of Frozen.
Yeah. Oh, the power of love?
Yeah.
Except in this time, bringing life to something that was once just frozen.
Yeah. Go on with your thing, though.
Okay. So, the gift of love and the flowers brings her to life. They frolic. His hat blows off. That they put it back on. I think Jack Frost, like, messes with them. But eventually they make good with him by saying, like, well, you're not my wife yet. We're just dating. We need to get married.
Parson Brown.
Yes.
Yes!
They go to Parson Brown.
Holy shit,
because it's called Frosty's Winter Wonderland.
Oh, that's such a good call.
Yeah. Although Parson Brown says, like, look, I can't do this.
You're not baptized.
I can only marry humans.
And dogs that one time. That was for Instagram. We don't talk about that.
Yeah, so to ensure the wedding still takes place, he assists the children, and they all build a snow parson.
Oh my god!
And he's brought to life when he's given a Bible. Ellie's left the recording studio.
What?
They build a snow parson.
A snow parson.
Yes, to
What is
marry them.
What's a parson?
I think a parson's like a local preacher.
In what denomination of Christianity?
That's a good question.
I grew up Catholic. I never heard the word parson except for that song.
Yeah, no, it's just called a member of the clergy. Like a clergyman, a rector.
Check the Rock-a-Wiki.
All right.
That's what my Spanish teacher in high
go.
school said the cool kids called looking things up on Wikipedia, and I think they were messing with her.
Parson it's from the word parish. So a person responsible for a parish. So he was probably technically a priest.
Okay.
In a pre-Reformation church.
The term was formerly used for some Anglican clergy and more rarely for ordained ministers in some other churches. It is no longer a formal term denoting a specific position within Anglicanism, but has some continued historical and colloquial use. Okay.
Yeah. So the snow parson is going to marry them. There's a big blizzard. It's Jack Frost. He's pissed.
Oh shit.
So what he does, what they do to like make good with him, he's like, "Why don't you be my best man?"
That's so sweet.
Yeah, it warms his heart. He stops the blizzard, and they have a beautiful ceremony.
Aw.
Yeah, it's a fun occasion.
In the meadow we can build a snowman and pretend that he is an ordained minister, even though he's not. This wedding is a sham.
Maybe they built him like a snow like wedding certificate.
They have to build a snow bishop and a snow pope. to ordain the bishop, and a snow Christ
I was
for the Pope to be the vicar of.
I was thinking like a snow judge, like like.
Oh boy, that would be so much easier. We also have to make a snow Yahweh to be the father of the snow Christ.
A snow state of California.
You have to make snow chicken and snow fish.
Yeah, that's a laundry list.
You have to make a snow funny story about the groom. You have to make snow strippers for the snow bachelor party.
The hardest part's the snow threshold. That thing will fall over you. You know, you have to do fucking a snow. What's that one song that's at every wedding?
Canon Indy?
Yeah.
Pachelbel's Canon?
Yeah.
Is that it?
I don't think I've ever heard that at a wedding. It's very classy. Classy affair. But anyway, yeah, so that's what happens. What I'm saying is that I think Frosty as a snow golem makes perfect sense when you realize that you can also give a Bible, a literal book, a tome, to a snowman to bring him to life.
The true name of God's in... Well, I mean, I guess not in, like, Kabbalah, because, like, Kabbalah? I forget. Kabbalah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, like, Jewish mysticism. Where it's like, you need to find all the secret names of God that aren't in the Bible, because they don't write them down, because that would be bad.
Right. But in the canon of this of this animation...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it works enough.
Which is interesting, because if that was... by that logic... I'm surprised this hasn't been a Frosty villain yet. You could craft a snow army, Calvin Hobbes style. Just build all these little snowmen, and then go to your nearest hotel, and there's a Bible in every room.
I love the smell of mistletoe in the morning.
We need to deploy some gifts. Yeah, no, they go on a real sleigh ride through it just causing mayhem.
Okay, so Frosty, magic hat.
Magic hat.
How does the hat work? We don't know. Flowers for love.
Yep.
But then she doesn't have to hold on to the flowers the whole time, does she?
That's a good question. I think that
the look of concern on Adam's face just then, folks.
Look, I'm all about rules, and I have not seen the animation. I don't know what happens to the flowers.
Check Rocky YouTube.
All right, Frosty. You think Frosty's Winter Wonderland has made its way to the Sin Palace of YouTube? You think it would be deemed in full HD?
It's 24 minutes
YouTube?
long, gang.
You think it's been on here for
4 years?
4 years? Oh god, look at these frames.
Oh man.
Or look at the lack of these frames.
What frames? I don't see any.
Yeah. Oh god,
right.
There are literally a lot of no frames going on here.
Okay, there's the title screen.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I think that's Jack Frost.
That's Jack Frost.
There she is. His wife.
Parson Brown.
I was assuming that there were no... I was assuming this was poorly animated. I'm surprised.
It's still better than the original Frosty, though.
Mm-hmm.
Not that that's a high bar to clear.
No, it does not look like she has to have the flowers on her hands at all times.
All right, Crystal, which, like, naming something made of snow, Crystal, if, like, an individual ice crystal is an individual snowflake and an individual piece of snow, that's like naming a human woman's cytoplasm. Hello, my name is Cytoplasm Jones. I'm the greatest scientist of this already age.
Look, they have an encounter with the traffic cop one more time.
Oh gosh.
He's like, well, look, what have I told you? He's like, man, you got a wife? Loser. All right, so let's but that's what I'm thinking. We get to there. I have a question for you. Let's play a little Monster Rehab with Frosty.
Oh yes, that's a great point.
Not a question, but yeah. That's the struggles of the tale, is that they can't find a space for him in the real world. That's why he has to, or in the 1969, he has to go to the North Pole.
Yeah, it was the winter of '69.
So, is there a job for him?
You know what? I won't go on a tangent about that song. Is there a job for him at the North Pole?
It wasn't about the year, right? It was a tangent.
Yeah, because he wasn't alive during the summer of '69, or he was like 4 or something. Brian Adams.
Yeah, so it's about.
So it's like, wait a minute.
It's about the '69 that you thought it was about.
It's about the '69, the sexual position that I honestly don't think anyone's ever actually done. But anyway, Snowman the snowing. I just made another. I made another World of Darkness parody.
Snowman the Snowwinning.
Snowman the Snowwinning.
So Frosty in the world.
Yeah.
I just watched Rocky recently.
Mm-hmm.
Rewatched the first Rocky. Best Picture winner. Not as much of the fights. But when he goes to like the freezer place with all the meats hanging up and he fights them. That meat packaging plant, always cold in there. Might not be a bad place for him to do some labor.
Yeah. Yep. Just like how the children made my flesh, now I'll render flesh for the children.
Yeah, he's a golem. He's got some familiarity with flesh.
I feel like if I tried to butcher an animal, I would be a little bit queasy about it, unless I like really dissociated in like a clinical way. I feel like Frosty wouldn't have that.
I think he dissociates plenty.
Oh yeah, he's constantly
like you just take the hat off, put it back on. He doesn't know what's what. Like, he's just like, all right, Frosty, carve this shit up.
Well, what I'm saying is, I don't think he would like be as repulsed as a human would be by the sight of flesh. No,
because he's not. He's made of snow. He'd be more grossed out by a snow cone than he would by a cow carcass.
Wow. Huh. I never thought about the psychology of Frosty the Snowman like this.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, he wouldn't like eat snow. Oh, does he drink water?
He would have to eat snow.
Oh, you think to like build himself up?
Yeah. Like, that's where that comes from. Well, we eat flesh.
Well, he won't eat hot stuff.
He wouldn't, no.
So what do you eat? Like a gazpacho?
I guess. Well, would he? Like, he wouldn't be able to metabolize... Like, you eat things to break it down into pieces, tiny pieces to put into your body.
Yeah. I don't think we have to... I think our problem here is that we've strayed from our... He's a golem.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a construct that's made, and he's powered by magic. They are self-cycling. You don't need to keep charging up a golem.
They don't have to eat.
No, they can just...
Do they?
Nope.
Check the monster manual.
Oh, go... It says that in there for monsters?
Yeah. Sometimes it says, like, they don't have to eat, even.
If they don't have to breathe sometimes.
Constructed nature. A golem doesn't require air, food, drink, or sleep.
Perfect.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, so he doesn't need any of those things. But I think he would be grossed out by seeing a snow cone.
I think so.
Yeah, but no, chopping up the meats and sending it out to the families.
Yeah. That, or he goes to he lives at the North Pole normally.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
He stays there.
What job would he have at Santa's workshop?
That's a good question.
Or like, maybe he tends to the reindeer or something. Well, it's probably a little bit warm in the stables.
Yeah. So it's the coldest part of there. Outside, maybe he's like a sentry. He's like a lookout.
But that would require putting him on the edge of Santa's territory, which is necessarily going to be... I assume, like, the geographic North Pole is the coldest part of the Arctic.
Yeah, but as long as it's still Arctic there, I think you're fine.
But it's not. That's sea ice. I feel like there was recently a point in time where the North Pole was, like, completely exposed for the first time in, like, a couple decades or 100 years or something.
Oh, yeah, right. And so, yeah, it's not always that way there. Maybe he goes on, like, missions for Santa. Kind of like in Decked. like he sends him off to do, like, cold things up there. Like, the Ice Baron needs a hand. Moving some large barrels from his stores. You got it, boss.
Yeah.
The
Ice Baron. Baron Ice.
Yeah, all the barren lands up there need a baron to control them.
Yeah. Well, like, Santa can reconstitute Frosty in an emergency situation if there's a cold December wind blowing.
Ooh, yeah, right. So, I mean, only those 12 months of the year.
I wonder how long... other 11 months of the year, Santa can't do anything about it.
No. Does, like, if, for example, there's got to be an occasion... Like, maybe he did go into the stables, or, like, he hung out inside with the elves for too long, and he did melt. Would Santa just, like, put him in a bucket till later?
Oh, no!
Well, fuck!
Oh, shit. Oh, God, this would be so much more disturbing if I was a snowman. Okay, I guess we just put all of the wet hay and dirt into a bucket and wait until December. Oh boy.
Yes, they're like,
I mean...
oh no.
Oh.
The elves have to run like a 5th grade like science experiments where they have to separate the water from like the other objects.
But they didn't go to 5th grade because they're elves.
Oh no, you're right. They only have like majors in like toy building.
They only have and dentistry, but that's new.
Yeah.
So an employer that could reconstitute Frosty without that wait time, Her Royal Majesty Queen Elsa.
Oh yeah, I guess Elsa can, in the same way that she gets like Olaf going forever.
Yeah,
can do the same thing with Frosty.
Exactly.
Okay. Once again, to your point, creating perpetual life.
Yeah,
like that's a big.
I just gotta make like an Elsa character, or even a character that just accidentally creates life everywhere she goes.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like an ice-based like necromancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of. Yeah.
That's real cool.
A neck snowmancer.
It's got to be canon that she like ups his like cloud every now and then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like she gets it going, but he also will die and come back. That Olaf there.
He does do that.
Yeah,
just like Josh Gad.
I only hope. I only hope and pray. But I think that's a lot. We've rounded out Frosty in a major way.
Now, not Frosty, and not Crystal, but Squatchler, a snow woman.
Like I'm St. Francis.
Like you're St. Francis, yes. Would you make a St. Francis snow wife?
Well, I think I would, similarly to him, get overwhelmed quickly, because I'm like, well, if I can just do this to her for a wife, here comes the kids and servants, and then all of a sudden there's way too many people to take care of. Yeah, you don't go from like an infant snow person and slowly build them, do you?
I guess not. Do you? Do you? Wait, can Frosty's kids grow up?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I think they're always the same age.
I mean, unless they...
You saw his wife. Like, he is kind of like... He locked in on, like okay, you are going to be wife age.
Okay. De-animate the kids. Like, rebuild them as, like, more adult proportions when they want to grow up?
I guess. I think if they wanted to grow up, he could just add more snow to them.
Yeah, do they naturally grow from just, like, eating snow?
I think it might be...
Oh god, the Grinch. The Grinch episode. The rhyming, it's back.
I think that he'd struggle with that.
Had to fight it off.
It's also tough for a snowman to build a snowman. Because his hands are hard. It's like a Midas touch situation.
No! Oh my gosh. Frosty the Snowman should not hang out in the snow. That's like scorn. Like the world is flesh.
It just all becomes him.
Oh, gross. Oh god. Oh
if
no.
If there's no limits there. I think the
like no snow, but below freezing is what Frosty needs.
No snow below freezing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's so nasty. Oh my god, poor Frosty.
Going Frosty everywhere.
I'm sure at this point he just doesn't think about it.
No. I think he focuses on just himself and he's okay.
Yeah.
The world doesn't just become Frosty. Because when the hat's all flying around and stuff like that, like the ground doesn't become a Frosty.
Doesn't it?
It
What if you just put the hat on the snow and then like the entire northern hemisphere just becomes like a Pandora?
Oh, I want to say maybe he can only talk because he's a corncob pipe. Because he has the idea of a mouth. Like, if there was nothing there, then maybe everything's a Frosty, but you can't speak.
Oh god, take the hat off of the ground. Never put the hat on the ground.
You don't see it in the animation, but like a coal mine, it all becomes an eye mine. Like in the...
Oh god, whoa. That's a lot.
And the button factory becomes a nose factory. I don't know what
that one still looks like a button on Frosty though, so that's more normal.
Yeah, okay. So let's take before we...
Is my coat sniffing 6 times?
All right, before we go much further into that, let's go to the final rating place.
Dude, let's
send this snow golem. Oh, we didn't... this modern Snowmetheus.
Mhm.
Yeah, like Frankenstein, I think our creations run away from us.
Well, we're a little scattershot this episode, but Frankenstein's a flesh golem in D&D terms, as we talked about previously.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I love that name, Snowmetheus.
Snowmetheus. Taking fire away from people. Like, no, you're done with this. It's going back to God's house.
Yeah, so
It's going back to Snow God's house.
I think that Frosty is I'm glad that we stumble across him, like, very, in our planning, very naturally.
Mhm.
Because, like, listen, gang, Christmas episodes, there's only so many you can do
Right.
in refusing to do a Krampus.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but I'm glad we stumbled across him, and the Golem is, I think, a perfect tie-in.
Yeah.
I don't see it a lot.
It's a really good way to tie Frosty into, like, a pre-existing monster lore. I think I homebrewed an item that maybe we can tweet out or something, or Mastodon out at some point, called, like, the Hat of Snow Golem Creation.
Well, that's great. Yeah, no, you place it on there. And, yeah, everyone does this type of...
Oh, you know what? Actually, where's a perfect place to put that?
On our Discord.
The Discord.
Yes, we have a new Finding Monsterite Discord.
Yeah.
You can find it in both the show notes and on our various social media pages.
Yeah.
Yeah, so come join us and talk about what kind of golem you would construct.
Yeah. We are doing some bits, moving away from Twitter a little bit, or at least decreasing our dependence on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and happy holidays to everyone out there.
Yeah. Now, we didn't rate Snowman.
We didn't what?
We did not rate Snowman.
No, yeah, right. I would give Frosty I'm going to give him a 16 out of 18 candles on his happy birthday.
I'm going to give him 12 out of 25. That's a little rough.
Oh, wow, that is rough.
That's a bit...
Did he hurt you? Did the concept of him being everywhere that's snow hurt you?
A little bit, yeah. But, okay, my birthday... we just had recently on the 11th.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, I'm elderly now. I'm more elderly now. But my birthday's on the 11th of December. So how about 11 out of 12?
Ah.
Yeah.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. Aw, that's a great monster for a December birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, we brought a full
lovely.
circle.
Look at that. That's great.
All right. Yeah. Goodbye, everyone. Construct a snow person in your life.
I'll be back again someday. Ching, 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 ching. Jingle, jing, jing, jing. Jingle bells, jingle bells. Jingle bells, jingle bells. Jingle bells.